Okay. So imagine you have the ability to partner with someone. Number one, doesn't want to be paid, will not take a share of the profits. Okay. But has built billion-dollar industries.
Right.
Okay. So if you could go leverage that person and go, okay, so if you can go in and go, you know what? If I just had, like been watching a lot of Alex Hermosi, who says, hey, I paid $100,000 so I can follow Grant around for a year to learn from it. I can go into AI and ask AI to act like Grant Cardone or Alex Hermosi and give me information based on the profile it's built on them from everything that's out on the web.
Attention all entrepreneurs, marketers, and dreamers. Are you ready to revolutionize your digital presence? Introducing my latest game changer, Podcasting Legacy. How to start, launch, and run a podcast to leave a legacy. Dive into the secrets of successful podcasting. Learn how to craft compelling content, build an engaged audience, and monetize your passion. This isn't just an ebook. This is your ticket to start, launch, and run a podcast to leave a legacy. Imagine having expert strategies at your fingertips, guiding you through every step of the way. Whether you're a novice or a pro, this ebook will transform your podcast into a legacy. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Grab your copy now and start creating a podcast that leaves a lasting impact. Visit erikallenmedia.com and unlock the doors to your legacy. Elevate your voice, inspire the audience, and leave your mark on the world. Podcasting Legacy, your journey to podcasting greatness. Joe, you're a husband, you're a father, you're an entrepreneur, sales genius, speaker, coach, podcast host, author. You're the co-founder of One Life Productions and also the founder of War Games Group. Man, I'm so excited for this. Thank you for your time.
Hey, I am so glad to be here. Thank you. As you can tell, I don't have a lot of free time. So
that's awesome. I love it. I like to kick the show off by going back a bit. Like, where did you grow up and what was childhood like for you?
So childhood was one of those situations, like I'll tell you, I blocked most of it.
Okay.
Right. And it's not because it was all bad. I just said, it's definitely not anything I use to define me.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to that point. That's where like the One Life Productions comes in. One Life is the self-help arm of the corporation that I've built so that we can give back to people. But grew up, I'll tell you, parents had money. It was my brother and I for the longest time. And then at one point, my mom looked and said, I've had my boys. I need girls. And we were like, what? And I'm like, I don't think you just order. Right. And so I think I was probably around 9, my brother 6. And then my parents decided to open up the house to be foster parents.
Okay.
And so then we ended up with foster children. Well, what most people don't understand is that when you do that, you go, great, I'm going to go help a child in need. The thing is, you don't know what happened to them prior to that point to get there, but none of it's good.
Right.
Right. And it comes in. And so we ended up, my brother and I ended up with 20 little sisters that ended up going through our house over the next several years.
Wow.
That came in because my mother specified only girls, only between the age of 0 and 4 years old.
Okay.
And that's what she specified. So we had these children. But as these kids came in and was your little sister for could be 2 months, right? Some were for years. Some are still with us now. My parents adopted and got to that point. And it was just one of those situations where I learned very, very young in life that you don't trust people. Right. The first little child that came to us at 8 months old, arm in a cast, broken blood vessels in her eyes. And she had in her medical records was 7 skull fractures by that point within 8 months. She had already had that. So there was a lot of abuse that had happened and then seeing that and then going through the trauma that was brought into the house.
Yeah.
I'll just say caused me to grow up real quick.
Sure.
As opposed to, I don't know how a child's supposed to actually deal with it. Kind of thing. It wasn't like I was like, I'm prepared for this. No, it was like, okay, but visitations coming over, constant nightmares every time the mother would come for visitation. And it was just a bad situation. Yeah. I don't regret it in any way. But it forced me to go from, well, you're now 9, you have to be 20 something tomorrow to deal with a lot of the stuff that came up. So
wow, man, what a crazy start to your journey there.
Yeah.
You're a sales genius now, but like, what was the inspiration to get into sales? Was there someone that motivated you to go down that path?
So I learned a lot. My personality is taken more from my father.
Okay.
I get my mother's stubbornness and the drive, but my dad always had his own business when I was growing up. It wasn't until I was in my late 20s, early 30s that he went to get a job. Otherwise, he's always had a business. And so he actually bought and ran gas stations.
Oh, very cool.
But it was gas stations back when you had full serve.
Yeah.
Right. Which in California is rare. Back east, it's normal. But so it was an option to do that. But it also had the mechanic shop in the back. So you had the oil changes, brake jobs, stuff like that was done. And I learned going up through high school. I started when I was 7 at the gas station, pumping gas for people, and then all the way up. And I left high school was when I stopped working at the gas station.
Wow.
And so, but while I was there, what I noticed was people would get off of the freeway. So if you look, like the freeway for everybody to go to work goes down this way. There's a street that runs parallel, and that's where our gas station was.
Okay. And
so it would run off of that. Well, people would get off like 3/4 of a mile ahead of the gas station. They would get off there, come down to our road, come down, pull into the gas station, honk the horn for my dad to come out and give them the joke of the day.
Okay.
And so he would come out and they'd go, "Hey, I'm running late for a meeting. I need the joke of the day. Come on." And so then he would give them the joke of the day. They'd laugh, they'd say thanks, and they'd pull back out and go another half mile down and jump back on the freeway and continue their drive to work. So I was like, these people are going like a mile out of their way in morning traffic to make sure they connected with him to get the joke of the day.
Wow.
And then what I also noticed was those were also the same cars that got their oil changes done with us, the brake jobs done with us. All of the maintenance was entrusted to my dad.
Wow.
So literally his personality, his desire to be funny and give back to people is exactly what caused him to be successful, in the fact that they knew, like, and trusted him. And so just for the joke or to pump gas, but they also brought their car in where they had to pay for maintenance too.
Come on. I love that. It's so important to do that. I'm so excited to get into this conversation with you about AI, because we were chatting before we turned on the record button. A lot of people are still scared of AI, don't know how to use it. I'm excited to hear how folks can leverage it in their business, but what are the best tips for leveraging AI? And for those who don't know, like, is there a specific AI tool they should be using? Let's get into that.
Okay. So there's several tools out there, and I'm not going to say you have to do it with this one or you have to do, that would just be arrogant. But when it first came out, we have Chat GPT. Chat GPT is the one that came out first, giving us access to this depository of human information that companies have been using. And like, I had a guy that I met through Steve Sims, and his name's Manoush, and he was like, we've been doing this for 15 years. We've been using AI. We've been doing this. The last 10 years is when it started picking up. But the algorithms that tell you, as soon as I look at something on the internet, when I go to Facebook, it's retargeted and coming back, and there's ads and stuff. All of this is AI. It's just been invisible to us, and we were just like, ooh, how did they get that? How does it know? All of these things is AI keeping track, going through, learning who you are to provide you what would be the best scenario for you, which we can say is bad or evil. It's just, it is at this point, right? It's ingrained in our life. We just don't know. Depending on your phone and whichever one you decide to talk to, right? Or whoever turns your lights on for you when you get home and say its name, right? Those are all AI systems. And they start learning it, right? My thermostat pops up and says, hey, I noticed that you've lowered the temperature this much. Would you like to keep that as your normal setting? Well, again, now my thermostat is watching me to say, hey, maybe you don't want to have to come touch this every day and make it easier for you.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So to me, the answer is don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
But when Chat GPT came out, I immediately was like, great. Now I have access to every sales mind in the world. Okay. And so I was like, let's go play with this thing. And that's exactly what I did. Was I jumped in and just started playing with it. And then I don't know, I'm older. You can tell I keep the gray. I get to charge more, you know that?
Yeah.
You get to charge more as an expert if you have gray. So, but if you remember, we all started using Google, and Google was the answer was only as good as the question that you asked it.
Yep.
Okay. So you didn't just go into Google and go pizza and hit enter. Right? It was pizza place near me. We all got conditioned to type it a certain way so that you can say, great, that's what I want. So the AI is the same thing. It's just the quality of your answer comes back with what you've actually set up as your question to it. The question is called a prompt. So don't get hung up on the word and go, I have to make a prompt. No, you have to ask it a question. The more detailed of a question, right, the better your answer is going to be. And so I go in and say, what industries can I help implement AI? And so a lot of my business with Sales Genius is automotive. So about 80% of my clients are automotive. It's where I had a majority of my success. And so to me, I'm like, great, I'm releasing how to use AI to sell more cars, right? What is the notion of salespeople in an automotive dealership to the rest of the world, right? They're like, ooh, sleazy. Oh, they're not good. They're unethical. They're this and that. And so I look and I say, it's an industry where someone who barely graduated high school can earn six figures by being good at emotional intelligence, right? They may not always be intelligent, but how do we partner now with something that is intelligent, that can write an email that is actually legible and readable, okay, where most people can't do that. So I try to marry the two and come up with it. So I'm out creating AI bots that people can go ask the question and have AI answer you back with an intelligent one, where we can say, you know what, write me a thank you email that I can send to Erik after the show.
Come on.
Right? That says that I was so excited to be there, and I can just give it some notes and it'll go, boom, here you go.
Yep.
And it'll give it back to me. Then I can go back and go, no, rewrite it and make it funny.
Yeah.
And then it'll go back and change things. But to me, my answer was, I need to embrace it. So Chat GPT is what I spend most of my day on when I'm in the, I got to do AI. Otherwise, you can use Bard. Bard is from Google. It just came out. There's a bunch of different ones that are out there that are free. You can go play with it and see what you want to do. But if you don't walk in with an intent, right, then it's not going to be anything useful for you. If you don't need to go search for something, do you ever just pull up Google and go, let me just type some letters in there and stuff? No. You go about your day, right?
Yeah.
Google is artificial intelligence as well, just hidden as a search engine.
Right.
And we were never told this is artificial intelligence. We were just told it's a search engine. And we went, okay, whatever that is, sure, I'll use it. So same thing here. So I teach people what you need to do is, and we were talking a little before, was I've gone in and made Chat GPT my partner.
Right.
Okay. So imagine you have the ability to partner with someone. Number one, doesn't want to be paid, will not take a share of the profits. Okay. But has built billion-dollar industries.
Right.
Okay. So if you could go leverage that person and go, okay, so if you can go in and go, you know what, if I just had, like been watching a lot of Alex Hermosi, who says, hey, I paid $100,000 so I can follow Grant around for a year to learn from it. I can go into AI and ask AI to act like Grant Cardone or Alex Hermosi and give me information based on the profile it's built on them from everything that's out on the web. Okay. But I could also use it to shortcut a lot of stuff. So as an entrepreneur, should you be on social media?
Absolutely.
Okay. What are you going to talk about tomorrow? What are you going to do the next day?
Yeah.
How many posts should you use a day? How can you do whatever? How do I get all this done?
Yeah.
Right. So I'll sit down and go into it and I'll go say, okay, this is my company. This is what we do. Okay. Develop me a social media calendar. Okay. Here's the key: in table format So it actually pulls out a little table that shows you everything. I go buy these sources, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, right? YouTube Shorts, and give me topics, discussion points, summary, okay? And how long it should be.
Wow.
And then it just goes, sure. And you may have to wait 60 seconds. Okay. So it goes right along with our instant gratification. And it goes, whoop, and it spits it out. And you go, okay, great. I guess I'm going to do a Monday Instagram at noon. Okay. On Tuesday, there'll be a Pinterest post that I have to go put out and do this and that. Right. And depending on the plugins and the things you can get, you can have it go do all the posts for you.
Right.
Right. You can say, go do it. I play games with it. I love it. For me, I went into one application and recorded my voice. 2 minutes of my voice into a recording and uploaded it.
Okay.
Okay. I think it cost me $6-7 a month for this program, but it has my voice now. So anything I type into a box, I can do an audio show with for my podcast to go in. So if it wasn't a video podcast, it was just audio, I could go in there, type what I want, and have my voice spit it out on the end. And I can take the audio file and go through and drop it into a podcast.
What?
And so, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, but again, we go, oh my gosh, it's so complex. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not complex, but we're resistive to change.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't want to change things, right? When cell phones change, we go, oh no, I don't know if I want to get a new one. I don't want to do that. Well, guess what? When I was a kid, we were attached to the wall. With a phone, right? After you left the house, you were unreachable.
Right.
Okay. But everything is going to get better and you'll learn how to put it back together. But in my world, Chat GPT is a buddy of mine. I talk to it like it's a human as opposed to being just, this is a tool. I go in, talk to it like everything else. So,
hey, this is a quick shout out from one of our awesome sponsors. Check this out. Thank you to Tracy down at Tranquil Turtle Massage in downtown Coeur d'Alene. Look, my wife and I, we see Tracy and her team every single month for a couples massage, and it is the best thing. Tracy is a master massage specialist and a Honu Ashiatsu trainer. You need to reach out to Tracy and her team. Make sure that you tell them that I sent you, and you'll get $25 off your next massage. Also, while you're there, check out CDA Brows, Body, and Ink. Make sure to tell Tracy that I sent you, and you'll save $100 on your next tattoo, brows, and plasma tightening services. Man, I'll tell you, when I first saw Chat GPT, when it first dropped, I was a little bit hesitant on that, but I was really amazed by it. Like, even my daughter had some homework and she had to do some comparison and stuff like that. I'm like, I wonder if this would work. And I typed it in and sure enough, spit it out. Not that we, took her and gave that to her. But
no, we're not encouraging her to have the computer do her homework in any way.
But and it's such a great tool. I've used it for podcast show notes, to write ebooks. All of this stuff. Yep. And people just aren't implementing it really like how they should. And especially when it comes to sales. And I think that's where, like, even some of the prompts that you just talked about, I'm like, oh man, my brain's just turning right now. I'm going, man, I should be doing this stuff. I do have a prompt thing that's in there. It's an app that I downloaded with it. I think it had like 10,000 prompts or something like that I can drop in.
AI PRM. That's the one I have for Google Chrome. Yeah.
Yep. So, and that one has helped a ton of just ideas and stuff I didn't even know I could do. So good there.
So one of the things I want to open your mind to this. Yeah. Right. If you could have that business partner. So I literally sat down one day and wrote out a prompt because I needed to know what it could do for me. So I have it on the screen above me. So I'll just say it. In order for me to use your full potential for my business, I need to make you a partner. What information do you need from me to have you understand the business so that you can offer me customized and actionable ideas for increasing profitability and scaling? Before you answer, do you understand my goal and request?
Wow.
That was my prompt. And then Chat came back and was like, yes, I understand. We're now business partners in your business. I'm going to need to understand the business so I can help you with running the business. Wow. And it said, and I need to know a few things. And it came back and gave me a list of 8 different things that it needs help with and understanding before it's going to give me any information.
Okay.
Wow. Now, I will tell you, as most of us as entrepreneurs, how do we start our business? We just do.
Yeah.
Right? The answer is what? I have to get a LLC? Do I have to? No, I can be a sole proprietor right now. And we just jump in, both feet, and we say, I'm a business owner.
Totally.
Okay? Without a lot of planning.
Right.
And so knowing that, I went in and said, okay, it asked me 8 questions, and I'm looking at it. It says, give me an overview of your business. Give me what your current challenges are, goals and objective, target customers. It says current marketing and sales strategies. Give me financial data.
Wow.
And then it says, and then at the end goes, what's your resources or constraints? Now, the 8 questions I went through, it took me a day to get the answer because I was invested in the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to go in there because it says, like, who's your competition? So I had to sit down and go look, and I say, in the area of sales training, who am I up against? Right? I'm up against Bradley, Grant Cardone. Andy Elliott specifically trains in my arena, right? The other 2 have left since then. And so I'm like, okay, so these people are my competition. This is who it is. And so it's like, okay, so it can go gather information and see who they are, what they do, and how we do things. So I went, plugged it all back in. It was the longest prompt or longest chat that it took, but I'm going to tell you right now, it was probably 3 minutes. And it went back, and then it was like, whoosh, here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And it came back, and now at any point, Eric, if I'm sitting there, I go, man, I need to create a lead magnet. I need to create something. So I go back into that thread, and most people miss this with Chat GPT, is that if you start a whole new thread, I consider it like it has Alzheimer's. It doesn't remember anything.
Right.
A new chat, it says, we're brand new. We're both infants. Tell me what it is. So you can't reference something you did before. So I named that one chat business partner. So then every time I go in, all of the stuff I've done before is still there, and that's the world it lives in. And so now I sit back and I go, I need 3 lead magnet ideas so that I can build my email list for the company. Wow. And then it comes back and goes, oh, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? You know, if you did this, add a quiz for someone to do. And I'm like, good idea. And this is how I talk to it. I go, good idea. Write the quiz. Right?
Come on, man.
It goes, here's your quiz. And I'm like, this is great. This is a partner that will work all the time for me if I just know how. Again, if you don't know how to talk to somebody, if I went and hired somebody who speaks Portuguese, we're not going to get a lot done.
Right.
Right. And it's like, I don't know what I say something wrong. We're not going to get the results we're looking for.
Yeah.
So you have to learn the language. And the more you chat with it, the more you learn how it likes to hear things, and it learns more about you to give back to you in a way you want to hear it.
Wow.
And so,
man, that's so good. So good. I know that we've got about probably 10 minutes left or less, but I wanted to jump in. You've got this really cool thing on your website that I saw called War Games Group. And this is like, first of all, thank you for offering this special discount for the listeners of the show. Such a rad discount. For those listening, Joe's offering this group, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, $49 and his regular $99. And that's, I think it's a monthly fee there, but what do folks get out of that? What is War Games Group? What is it? What do folks expect out of that thing?
Fantastic. So War Games Group was my brainchild in the fact that I sat back, and every time I would do sales training, that's my company, I do sales training. Everybody always thought it was a fight with the prospect to get their wallet out of their pocket.
Sure.
Right. It was like, I got to fight them for the payment. I got to fight them for, the value. And I was like, why are we fighting everybody? And then I said, but if most of the sales industry thinks that way, I don't want to go out there and go, rainbows and butterfly group. And then they go, there's no reason for me to be there. So I said, all right, what sounds cool? Well, let's do a War Games Group, which is what? We teach strategy. We teach the concept like you would in a war of how are you going to win. Once you're in the group and you understand that we teach you sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. All the things that are crucial for you to be successful in the sales world itself. But we do it in there, and it's not teaching you how to fight. It's teaching you how to sell and how to do things right. But you'll walk in going, oh, it's war games. I'm going to fight with prospects. Well, that's what you believe. Once you get in, we'll correct it afterwards. Yeah. But it is a weekly live sales training that is done. So it's the priority group that gets there. You join it. It's $99 a month. Normally, again, up on the website now is at $49 a month while you run the podcast. And so they're going to get that. But what they get is 4 meetings a week. They run 30 to 40 minutes. and it's live, either me teaching you how to sell something, fielding questions, or I bring other guests in, because I know we get parent deaf.
Sure.
Right. And people forget to listen. And so then I go into my Rolodex and say, you know what, let me go find these people and I'll bring in extra people to come in. So like the Jeffrey Gittimers, right? I'll bring in I have Lisa Copeland, who's really big with the Cardone industry, you know, helping Elena do the houses and what have you. But she's done so much stuff in her life. And I'm like, hey, you want to come on and do a show? She's like, yeah, I'll teach people how to sell homes. And I'm like, that's fine. It's for all sales. And then I have people come in and talk to you about how to use AI. I have people that come in, so it's not only me talking, but my archive right now is somewhere around 190 episodes.
Okay.
That are in there. So then I give you access to the group to ask questions, come in. You also get the access to the archives that are out there. And then to me, I'm in masterminds, and I'm in masterminds because I want to get to the person who holds it. I want their network. Right. And so like I'm in one of them, and the guy goes, Joe, you don't need anything I teach. I go, no. You have guests on that I can't get to, but I can when we're all in the room together. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's to me. So again, to me, I know not every company wants to invest in their salespeople.
Totally.
Okay. And so the quote I always use with everybody is the CEO says, I want to train the whole staff, the sales staff. And the CFO says, what if we spend all the money to train them and they leave? And he goes, what if we don't train them and they stay?
Right.
Right. And my answer was, not everybody can afford it. Can we afford $50 a month? Yes. Can you afford the $99 a month? Yes, you absolutely can. Right. People have streaming services that are costing them that. So to go to $50 a month right now for your viewers, it'd be like, it's a no brainer. It's less than dinner out, and you're going to get sales advice, and you're going to get to interact with people that you wouldn't have the chance to get to interact most of the time.
So good. So good. Joe, I love your perspective on AI, man. And you brought so much knowledge. I learned a ton, and I know the listeners learned a ton here. I'm excited. Real quick though, like, what are you most excited about right now? What's coming up next for you?
So next for me is I now have a sales team. I'm scaling.
Okay.
Which is what it is. So before, as an entrepreneur, I got in, built a business, and then what happened? It was everybody only wanted me. Right? If I'm the guy selling you on my product and service, then I have to be the guy that executes on it. And then I got trapped with a job. Right. And so it was like, no. So the last couple of years has been, hire trainers, put the trainers in, hire a sales staff now, right? It was really hard for me to hire the sales staff. Because to me, I'm like, if I'm the sales genius, I should be able to walk in and knock it out the park for anybody.
Totally.
And so I'm like, but no, let me train them. Let me send them out and let them, bring in business so that I can work on the business instead of in the business. So
love that. Love that. Joe, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, man. You're an absolute world changer. Thank you so much for your time today, man. So excited to drop this show, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I really appreciate it. I hope that my guest was able to bring you some amazing wisdom and knowledge to help you continue to fight for your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. If you could do me one big favor and just hit that subscribe button, I would so appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Keep changing the world. I believe in you. Have an amazing day.